Shalom, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom, selecting out there, doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. All right, and today I'm gonna basically, touch on a quick topic. Basically like the process of, how the Most High seals, our instructions. And the inspiration of this lesson came, the Most High, put me through a recent experience would inspire me, to want to tap into this, as far as the scriptures is concerned and bringing out, further edification on this, So, with that, this first precept that I have here, this is Proverbs 20 and 24. Man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way, right? And the next is Proverbs 16 and 1, and I'm going to touch on verse 3. It says, the preparations of the heart of man, or the preparations of the mind of man, and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Verse 3, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Right, so in those, basic three scriptures, we see that, how it is only because of the Most High that we are able to do anything. It said, what man's goings are of the Lord, therefore how can a man understand his own way? Because we don't understand our own way, because, that's why Israel went off in the first place. We lost without the Most High, so, we had to constantly be guided by the Spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. It said, what, in the preparations in the mind of man, in the answer of the tongue, and what, and he said, what, commit that works unto the Lord, and your thoughts shall be established. So by all things, what first and foremost is praying unto the Most High, to ask Him to guide our steps so that we don't go off and we don't walk across our own paths. Therefore, the Most High can guide us and keep us on that righteous path. Because if we don't ask the Most High for that, He'll let us go astray because we're not asking, we're not seeking Him, we're not seeking His face. So for all things, that we know that there's no free will and that we are controlled, by Yahweh, by Shemi Shai. And as far as the Most High, being able to do that, or the process of the Most High being able to take over our thoughts, take over our mind, what He has to download information into our mind, for like how you would program with a robot, and in certain cases within the scriptures, He actually did this while men were awake. But majority of the times, we know from Job 33. Job chapter 33, which we're going to get in a second, that Most High usually does when we're asleep. But, I'm going to get this case in Esdras, where the Most High, downloaded information into Ezra's mind when he was actually awake. All right. So this is 2nd Esdras chapter 43, and I start at verse 38. It says, and the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, open thy mouth and drink that I give thee to drink. Then I opened my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full as it were with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I took it and drank, and when I drank of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast. So he said, what? My mind uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, and it's all references to his mind. For my spirit strengthened my memory. This all three processes dealing with the mind. All right, it says, and my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions in the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and I held not my tongue by night. And 40 days they wrote 204 books. Right, so that's the point. The Most High usually downloads information into our mind with sleep, but in this case with Ezra's and those 5 men, he actually did it while they were awake. And and with that, it's just like brothers, when you watch the Matrix, how Neo was basically sitting in the chair, and he was learning kung fu and all that. He like, give me more, give me more. They downloading all that information into his mind. That's the process of actually, you know, how the Most High does it with us. But like I said, you know, he, with that case with Ezra, he did it while he was awake. Majority of the times, you know, the Most High does it while we're asleep, you know. So with that, this is Job chapter 33 and verse 14. It says, "For the Most High speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose, and hide pride from him. He keepeth back his soul from the pit, and his life from perishing by the sword." Right, and the point is that, you know, what in a dream, in a vision of the night, that's when he openeth and sealeth our instructions. Now, when we're asleep, we're in what's known as a transic state. All right, now I'm gonna get the definition of the word trance, basically. All right, and it reads, trance, a half-conscious state characterized by an absence of response to external stimuli, typically as induced by hypnosis or entered by a medium. Okay, and you know, basically, when you're sleeping, you're like in a half-conscious state, so to speak. And why do I say that? Is because you don't have, you know, response to the external stimuli or this three-dimensional world in which we're in, you know, but your mind nonetheless is still moving, you know, because a lot of people thinking that, you know, when you're asleep, you know, you just sleep and you just wake up like it's just a simple process. Nah, when you're sleeping, your mind is just as active, or could possibly be even more active when you're awake, you know. So your mind never rests, actually, you know. Well, it does rest, but your mind, your brain cells and everything is still moving, because when you're sleeping, they're repairing itself, you know. And going down, you know, to the etymology of the word trance, it comes from the Latin word transire, which means to go across, and from Old French, depart, to fall into trance. So keep in mind, you know, that the word go across and to depart. Now, when you're dealing with matters of the mind, our mind has a biological clock, and our biological clock is very similar to the 24-hour day clock in which we have here today. And Esau patterns, you know, basically the 24-hour clock of the day based off of the biological clock that we have in our mind. Now, when we're out in the day, you know, and we're receiving light from the sun, we get photons, which are particles of energy from the sun that hit our eyes, that transmit into electrical signals, which send signals into the part of our brain which is known as the hypothalamus. And with that, and inside of the hypothalamus, you have what's known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And that suprachiasmatic nucleus, that's our body's or our mind's biological clock, that 24-hour clock, in which our mind and our body works off of, you know. So when the sun, you know what I'm saying, gets into your eyes and hits that part of the brain, your biological clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, okay, it sends signals to your pineal gland to know that it's light around, to let you know, your body know that it's daytime, it's time for you to be up and about and to move around and to give you energy throughout the day. Now, at nighttime, when all the lights are shut off, now your suprachiasmatic nucleus sends a signal into your pineal gland, and your pineal gland secretes an antioxidant which is known as melatonin, and that melatonin releases throughout your brain and throughout your body to induce sleep, and melatonin controls the phases of your sleep throughout the nighttime. Okay, so your body knows basically like when to flip that on and off switch. It knows when to go from daytime to nighttime by sending those signals through the brain into our biological clocks, into our pineal gland, because the pineal gland is sensitive to light. Okay, so just like for instance right now, you know, I'm in the light, so you know my body is not going to naturally produce melanin, you know, because the light is stopping my body from producing that melatonin. Now, when we're sleeping at nighttime, you're supposed to have everything completely pitch black, because at nighttime your body is repairing itself, you know, and that melatonin is one of the most powerful antioxidants that the body makes. and it helps to kill certain free radicals that create cancer. And it's stronger, it's 5 times stronger than vitamin C and 2 times stronger than vitamin E. So when you're sleeping, your body is repairing itself, and it's repairing the damaged nerves that's in your brain, because we constantly lose nerves and different cells throughout the brain. I believe like about a 500 million cells every day within our brain we lose. So your body and your mind has to naturally repair that, and it does that by the use of melatonin. So melatonin is very important. Like, you get up in the middle of the night and you go to the bathroom and people cut on the light. You shouldn't do that. You're supposed to just go to the bathroom completely in the dark and try to make your way in the dark if you can. To go to the bathroom, because you stop your body from producing that melatonin. You stop your body from rejuvenating itself, so you mess up your whole process. And when you think about it, what we grow throughout the night. If a bodybuilder, he works out and he's eating throughout the day, working out, training hard. When do you grow? You grow when you sleep. Or when you're younger, you catching them growth spurts where you grow when you sleep. Saying among Jake, like if a family member ain't see you in a while, they be like, shit, boy, you grew overnight. What? Because we literally do grow overnight, you know? So, in turn, and that's why they say too, like, that sleep is the cousin of death, basically. Because when you're sleeping, like as the definition said, a trance, a half-conscious state characterized by an absence of response to external stimuli. So when you're sleeping, you have no response to the three-dimensional world in which you're in. But when you're sleeping, your mind goes into that transic state. And trance, the etymology means to go across or to depart. So while you no longer have response to this three-dimensional world, your mind is your spirit is going across or departing into the next dimension. Therefore, that's where the Mossad is downloading all of that information into your mind for the next day, because your spirit and your mind is open. Okay. Now read this again. It says, Job 33:14. For the Mossad speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, and slumberings upon their bed, he openeth and sealeth the instructions of men. He openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. So right in the deep sleep and in the visions of the night, because we can see literally throughout the day, but we can see at nighttime too, because where our spirit is going across or departing into that next dimension. Therefore, we can see the spirit world as it is. And and just as I said, that the brain is just as active when you sleep as in the daytime and when you're awake, because that's the Mossad downloading. Is your brain is repairing itself naturally, while your spirit is in the spirit world getting all that information to prepare you for the next day. So when the Mossad is done with that process and you wanted to wake you up, and serotonin, that's a hormone that's secreted, that helps with sleep and is responsible for the wake up process. So when the Mossad is ready to wake you up, then your spirit drops back down into your pineal gland, and in turn, now your brain cells and everything has been repaired for the next day to get you up and ready for that next day and that next cycle, man. Oh yeah, there's one other point that I wanted to mention as well, is that we gotta remember too, when we're at nighttime, and when we're sleeping, we're fasting. That's why the first meal of the day that you eat is called breakfast, because you're breaking your fast. And keep in mind, whenever we're literally fasting, like on a 24-hour day period, like for the Day of Atonement or different days throughout the year that brothers may fast or whatever, our body is on a higher frequency, is on a higher vibration, where we can communicate much better with the Mossad through our prayer. So at nighttime, our body is fasting, and we go up to that spirit world, where we're much closer. We're much closer to the Mossad, that the Mossad can directly communicate with us by putting all that information into our spirit as well. So that's very important. In that sleep, it's very important as well. You know what I'm saying? For that better communication and better restructure, for your mind to be better restructured. So with that, I hope this segment was edifying. through the spirit of Yahweh Shemi Awashai, and I hope I hit the point, to show brothers, how the Mosai, the process of how the Mosai, downloads them thoughts, into our mind, to prepare us for the next day, So, I hope the segment was edifying. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to Lekman out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalom and death to America.